Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a real giant of literature, Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. And it starts with probably one of the most famous opening lines ever written.
Oh, absolutely. Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. It just grabs you immediately.
It really does. And it perfectly sets up what we want to do in this deep dive.
Exactly. We're going to try and unravel some of those, incredibly complex relationships, the societal pressures, the personal philosophies that Tolstoy just weaves through the whole thing. And what's amazing is how much it all still resonates, right? These themes feel so current.
They really do. And for this deep dive, our source material is coming straight from the novel itself. Excerpts, key moments. We're going to pull out quotes and scenes to really get into the fabric of these characters' lives.
Yeah, trying to dig out those surprising little facts, but also the big insights into how people handle love, family, that whole search for meaning.
So, okay, let's start right there with families, the happy, and maybe more interestingly, the unhappy.
Well, Tolstoy gives us the Oblonskys right off the bat. You meet Stepan, or Stiva, and he's in the middle of this domestic mess because he's been unfaithful. What's so striking is how Tolstoy describes him this good-humored and rather pitiful smile. It's like he doesn't fully grasp the damage.
Right. He's almost oblivious, while his wife, Dolly, is just lost in bewilderment and suffering. And the text even says she hates his disgusting good nature. That detail is just so sharp.
It really is. It's not just anger, it's hatred for his niceness. That's a very specific flavor of unhappiness, isn't it?
And Anna, who's Steve's sister, she comes in to try and patch things up between them.
Yeah, she plays the peacemaker initially, but Tolstoy is quick to show us that it doesn't really stick. The reconciliation is temporary, of no solid character. Dolly's still plagued by suspicions. Financial worries creep into, it's not resolved.
And we get inside Dolly's head, which is fascinating. She feels tied down by the kids, sees them almost as anchors in this difficult marriage.
And she has these secret daydreams, these passionate and impossible romances for herself. It's this quiet desperation simmering under the surface.
It really drives home that unhappy in its own way point. It's not always dramatic explosions. Sometimes it's just this slow burn of wanting something else.
Exactly, a kind of internal decay.
Okay, so from the Oblonsky's messy reality, we shift to the Karenins. Talk about a different kind of unhappy. It's so cold.
Oh, incredibly so. Alexei Alexandrovich Karenin, Anna's husband, his reaction to her affair with Vronsky is just pure bureaucratic detachment. His number one priority seems to be outward decorum, public perception above all else.
And he sort of rewrites history in his head, doesn't he? He remembers things Anna did before, things he thought were fine then.
Right, but now he twists them to prove clearly that she had always been a corrupt woman. It's this self-deception maybe to protect his ego or just his image.
It's hard to tell, and his decision is just chillin', stay together, no divorce, avoid the scandal.
And the cruelest part, denying Anna access to their son, Seryoza. He becomes peculiarly frigid towards the boy. It's calculated emotional warfare.
Well, Anna's experience is the complete opposite. Just overwhelming shame and despair and this agonizing longing for Seryoza.
And Tolstoy shows us the boy's side, too. Seryoza secretly misses his mother, refuses to believe she's really dead in the way his father implies.
Ugh, it's heartbreaking. The impact on the child is just devastating.
It's that psychological realism Tolstoy does so well. You see all these conflicting perspectives at once.
So we've got the Oblonsky's chaos, the Karenins' icy control.
Yeah.
But then there's Levin. Konstantin Levin offers a different angle on family, doesn't he?
Yes, he brings this real earnestness, this almost idealistic longing for family life. He really admires the Shrabowski household, sees it as this model of, noble, cultivated, and honorable family life that he feels he missed out on.
He's genuinely searching for something foundational, something real.
But it's not an easy path for him either. He gets rejected by Kitty initially, and that rejection really stings. Those humiliating reminiscences torture him, make him feel totally inadequate, further than ever from marriage.
Yeah, he gets caught up in his own pride, telling himself he can't propose just because she got turned down by someone else.
Right. It shows how even good intentions can get tangled up in insecurity and what society expects.
Okay, so we've looked at the family structures, the happiness and unhappiness there. But the engine driving so much of this story is, love itself. Or maybe different kinds of love.
Absolutely. Passion, duty, compromise, it's all in there.
Let's start with Anna and Vronsky. Their connection is portrayed as incredibly intense, almost like fate from that first meeting.
Yeah, Vronsky feels that reverential ecstasy right away at the train station. It's immediate, powerful stuff.
But Vronsky has this weirdly specific kind of rigid personal code, doesn't he?
He does. This code of principles, like one must never tell a lie to a man, but one may to a woman, or never cheat anyone, but one may a husband.
It's pretty telling about the double standards of the time.
And what's fascinating is how this supposedly firm code just starts to crumble when he falls for Anna. Tolstoy subtly exposes the hypocrisy right from the start.
And the fallout for Anna is huge. Social ruin, basically, leading to that shame and despair.
Vronsky does make sacrifices, though. He gives up that big Tashkent appointment, leaves the army for her. Those are significant things in his world.
True. But is it pure sacrifice? Or is there something else going on?
Well, that's the complexity. Later, Tolstoy tells us Vronsky feels annoyance and regret at his surrender. Their life traveling abroad starts out unpardonably happy, but it fades fast.
Right into intolerably tedious stretches. And then Anna starts using morphine.
And becomes fiercely jealous even of the Italian nurse Vronsky uses as a model.
It kind of suggests that pure, intense passion, cut off from everything else, can become its own kind of trap, maybe, leading to boredom, addiction.
Possessiveness, definitely. It's a really nuanced take on passionate love.
Now, let's compare that to Kitty and Levin. Their path is much more, well, winding.
Yes. Kitty is initially drawn to Vronsky, remember, and her mother is frantic about making that match happen.
Then, after Vronsky essentially dumps her for Anna, she goes through this spiritual phase, influenced by Varenka and Madame Stahl.
But even there, Kitty has her doubts. She questions Madame Stahl's sincerity, those peculiar smiles. It's not a blind conversion.
Meanwhile, Levin gets his hopes up again about Kitty, but he really agonizes over proposing a second time.
Yeah, he's terrified of being rejected again, worried about reproach or resentment.
Their engagement and wedding day are just full of Levin's anxieties. The missing shirt, the candle joke he thinks is stupid.
And his deep struggle with faith right before the confession, he actually asks the priest, "What if I doubt God exists?" That level of honesty is remarkable.
But Kitty is the calm center through all his turmoil. She seems to understand him so deeply.
Yes, she even explains why she loves him, because she understood him completely, and everything he liked was good. It's such a profound connection.
And their early marriage isn't perfect either. There are those pettiest details. Levin's flash of jealousy over Veslovsky flirting with Kitty.
But Kitty's reaction is telling she's ready to sacrifice everything for his peace of mind.
It feels like a different foundation for love, doesn't it? Not just overwhelming passion, but this deep empathy and commitment to each other's well-being, navigating the small stuff together.
It absolutely is. It's a powerful counterpoint to the Anna Vronsky story.
Moving beyond love and family, there's this constant thread in the novel about the search for meaning through work, through ideas, through spirituality.
Definitely. And Levin is central here again, with his deep, almost physical connection to country life. He sees the land as a field for labor. He works alongside the peasants, gets frustrated by their carelessness, drunkenness, and lying. But he's involved. He wants to build something.
Which contrasts sharply with his half-brother, Sergei Ivanovich.
Right. Sergei sees the country intellectually as a rest from work, an antidote to town. But he's detached from the actual farming, the practical side of it. He observes, he doesn't really participate in the same way.
And then you have Oblonsky, who thinks Moscow is a stagnant bog and Petersburg is where life happens. His focus is entirely on climbing the ladder, getting better positions, making money, even through shady deals.
Material gain is his meaning. And Vronsky tries his hand at estate management too, treating it as though it were a factory, but it doesn't work out financially for him.
So Tolstoy seems to be exploring how different ways of engaging with the world, labor, intellect, society, shape what people find meaningful.
Yeah, Levin seeks it in tangible creation, others in abstract ideas or just getting ahead.
And this search extends into intellectual and spiritual realms too. We talked about Levin's intense struggle with faith and doubt before his wedding.
That feeling of being false and wrong when he tries to just go through the motions of belief, it's not just doubt, it's a crisis of authenticity for him.
You see these intellectual debates crop up throughout the book as well.
Yes, like Sergei Ivanovich arguing with the professor about psychological and physiological phenomena, or Pestov holding forth on classicism versus science, or the education of women.
They seem lively, these conversations, but sometimes maybe a bit superficial.
Tolstoy hints at that, perhaps. That maybe these intellectual games can distract from deeper connections or real action.
We also get these other voices, like the grumpy landowner blaming emancipation for ruining Russia.
Or Sviatsky, the liberal landowner who has these neat intellectual solutions, schools and schools and schools, but Levin finds them totally disconnected from the peasants' actual material development needs.
So it's a critique of purely theoretical answers to complex problems.
Seems like it. And Golenishtchev criticizes modern freethinkers who just negate everything, contrasting them with older intellectuals who really wrestled with ideas. It feels like Tolstoy is questioning the depth of some contemporary thought.
And then there's the politics, the local elections, which Vronsky gets surprisingly into, seeing it as keenly exciting, like a fight.
Yeah, showing another avenue where people seek purpose, or maybe just distraction.
And all these searches, these different paths, sometimes lead characters into real crisis.
Definitely. Like when Konstantin has to face his brother Nikolai's illness and death, it forces him to confront mortality head-on, makes him question the point of all his striving. That line, I work, I want to do something, but I had forgotten it must all end. I had forgotten death. That's a profound existential moment.
It really shakes him. And then you have Alexei Alexandrovich Karenin dealing with his crisis very differently.
By completely walling himself off emotionally, right? Sealing off his real feelings about Anna and Seryoza.
And using religion almost as a shield, finding a religious sanction for his decisions to maintain his own peace of mind.
It's such a contrast to Levin's raw, honest struggle. Karenin uses faith to justify his detachment, rather than for genuine connection or understanding, prioritizing calm over truth.
So pulling all these threads together, what's the big picture? Tolstoy uses these incredibly personal stories,
These often very messy lives,
to explore these huge universal themes. Love, betrayal, society's pressures, and that deep human need to find meaning and be authentic. He doesn't offer simple solutions.
Not at all. And his style, that revolutionary way he gets inside the characters' heads, what we might call psychological realism or early stream of consciousness, is key. It lets us see their inner lives, their contradictions so vividly. It's not just what they do, but why and how they feel about it. That's what makes it so powerful and relatable, even now.
Absolutely. From the Oblonsky's public struggles to the Karenin's icy facade to Levin and Kitty's more grounded, stumbling journey, Tolstoy shows us happiness isn't one thing and unhappiness has infinite variations. So thinking about all these different shades of happiness and unhappiness we've talked about today, what do you think Tolstoy ultimately teaches us about relationships, about that messy, complicated reality? And maybe more importantly, how could his insights help you, listening now, navigate your own path, especially when you encounter those uniquely personal forms of unhappiness? Something to think about until our next deep dive.